Are you afraid?
You didn't really think I would remake an old video just for funsies, right? It's also because I'm desperate, please subscribe. No, it's time to celebrate Spooktober in style. 7 days, 7 videos on different extra spooky games. There will be laughs, there will be scares, but probably it will mostly be bad jump scares and terrible voice acting.
Behind you! There's a...
Sometimes it'll be gameplay and other times short reviews. I don't know, I'm riffing here, okay? So welcome to 7 Days of Fear. Did you ever stand on top of a very high cliff, or maybe on the platform of a train station, only to hear your brain suddenly going, "Wanna jump?" It's the call of the void. They're frightful but ultimately harmless intrusive thoughts, something that we would not act upon. But in the safe space of video games, I think we all gave in to them. Seriously, who's tried a VR headset and didn't immediately attempt to shoot themselves? If not that, how about jumping off a building as Spider-Man? Or maybe doing a kamikaze attack? Or maybe steering your spaceship towards an asteroid? Now that's a game intro that leaves the mark. Ugh. Literally. Alright, we gotta be brief here because A, this game is short, and if we spend too much time, I'm gonna end up spoiling it in its entirety. And B, I still gotta finish the next video and I'm running out of time here. So, no jokes today, this is serious matter after all. Mouthwashing is The Thing meets Event Horizon meets Alien and Nolan is directing it. The craziest part is that it doesn't just work, it works amazingly.
So good.
Stranded in space with limited supplies, on a ship that seems ready to fall apart at any second. The classic sci-fi horror setting, juxtaposed by the friendly face of your company's mascot and the bright artificial sun illuminating one of the few rooms your crew still has access to. Contrasts dominate the story. The young and the old, the meek and the strong-willed, the tiny space the crew has turned into a shared bedroom and the gargantuan size of the cargo hold, filled to the brim with mouthwash. There's a cruel irony in trapping a bunch of people who are running out of food with something you typically use to clean your mouth after eating. And in the background, only the hissing and clanking of the pipes running through the ship. That, and the mourning of the captain. The man who inexplicably doomed the crew and is now the center of everyone's hatred, and with him now barely able to breathe, let alone walk, we are the men in charge. The responsibility of keeping these people alive falls on our shoulders now. The responsibility to fix someone else's mistake. But you can predict that, as cabin fever sets in, more blunders will be made. Mistrust will creep in. You've got to wonder whether starvation or hopelessness will kill first. So, you gotta help making food, finding meds, and reluctantly taking care of the captain since no one else wants to do it. And if it's not you, then who? Who is gonna take that responsibility? It's a dramatic story intertwined with a psychological thriller that abruptly yanks you back and forth through the plot's timeline just as you thought you have reached the climax. The beauty of it is that Mouthwashing doesn't play with the chronological order of the events just to unnecessarily pad things out. It provides context to other characters' actions and words. It challenges your perspective on things, and even the most abrasive person can sound like the voice of reason once you're given the full picture. There's a looming presence that inhabits every corner of the ship. Even if navigating it in its entirety might take no more than 15 seconds, there's the constant fear that something might suddenly change for the worse. But the small size also helps with the way the game is designed. You're usually tasked with finding 1 or 2 key items, and this is at its core a long sequence of fetch quests. But in such a self-contained setting, this doesn't take more than a minute at a time, so your objectives flow in tandem with the flux of dialogues without ever feeling disjointed. Mundane tasks you execute with detached apathy become the stage where sound design and art direction perform. They play tricks on you, or they aim at just making you feel sick and nauseous. Mouthwashing does miss the mark from time to time, mostly when it pushes for set pieces that are just far too long and would have massively benefited from a shorter length. And also the story drastically becomes less subtle during the final 20 minutes. It never gets campy, but it feels redundant to hammer down some concepts right after a cutscene that has already done a masterful job in achieving the same result. Mouthwashing opens up with a simple sentence. I hope this hurts. Is it a spiteful remark filled with hatred, or the wish of someone who yearns for atonement? Whoever it might be, it did hurt. It hurt deeply and beautifully. So if you got anything bad to say about this game, you better watch your mouth before trash talking it. That's your joke for this video.